Hello, everybody. Welcome to Original Portrait Photographers, OPP. I'm joined by my brother, TJ. How you doing?
Good.
Good. Yeah, this is we're excited about this. This is something that we've talked about for many years to put on, and SPAC's 70th anniversary coming up next January. Good excuse for us to get off our butts and get this thing going. And we always talked and said we just love talking to guys in the industry or people in the industry and talking about stories. And trust me, we've heard a lot of good ones.
Yeah, there's so many beauties, so many amazing people that we've kind of been lucky to meet through the years, kind of getting farmed up through the system. And I think it's safe to say like everyone's got something incredible to share. And I think just giving them a platform to do that is what we wanted to do, and just let everyone know some of the cool stuff that we've heard through the years.
Yeah, exactly. Talking about beauties, our first person that we have on is lives pretty close to us, just 3 or 4 hours south. Ben Musgrove out of Woodland, Washington. How you doing, Ben?
I'm doing good, fellas. How are you guys doing?
We're good. We're good. Yeah. Well, we appreciate you coming on. Took a while to get you because you don't check your emails. So I'm glad that we had to text you to check your email. Definitely a sign of an old guy.
I want to know the criteria. Is that the criteria? How often you check your email?
That's what we were talking about. Yeah.
We did yesterday, didn't we? We talked about age brackets, right? And what's acceptable timing. And I thought we left it at it was acceptable timing for me.
We did say if you're over 50, check it once a week, you're okay.
You guys crack me up.
It's amazing though, man. You're like such a solid guy that it's always awesome to see you around. You're one of the fun people that we can like look up to at the same time, like hang out with and catch up with, and for sure kind of the guy to like kick this whole thing off with, just to like literally shoot the breeze and hear a little bit more about where you kind of came from, how things kicked off, and just trying to educate a whole bunch of people about how this all started, really.
Yeah. Well, I didn't start it, fellas. SPAC was already going when I came along.
Could have fooled us, buddy.
Do you actually like go to the conference, or are you just always at the craps table? We're just trying to wonder that.
It's a balance, fellas. It's a balance. And what's funny about it is I remember when I first went to SPAC, I wondered the same thing about the other OGs that were in attendance at that time. And I always thought, why are they just walking around with buckets of silver in their hands, or those buckets of, that was back when slot machines actually paid out in the coins. And I was like, don't they ever go get educated? And I try to go to most of them.
But they were like you. I feel every time you've gone to SPAC, you've always brang like employees and stuff. So make them go to the classes while you just gamble.
Well, my wife says I'm a great delegator. So.
Well, it's worked, man. You definitely got to like the position you're in and like one of the living legends. But no, man, like it's real similar. There's again, just.
He might have broke. I think he got stuck. We'll keep going. See what happens there. Just a little technical difficulty for the first one. So Ben, you're about 20 minutes out of Vancouver, Washington. 30 minutes out of Portland, Oregon. Yep. You got a place down there, Bell Imaging. We were talking before. You've kind of changed the name a couple times. It was Bell Studios, but to kind of be at the times, you changed the name.
Yeah, we just moved it over to imaging as it's kind of what we are. We're imagers now. I mean, we're still photographers, but it's my opinion that photography's changed. It's not just photography. There's so much. You can call it manipulation. You can call it adjustment, enhancement, anything. There's just so much more to be done to an imaging, more hence like Skylab, like with TJ there. So much more to be done. I think imaging fits with the times. So
Got it.
We slid over to that name a few years back, and well,
yeah. Looking at your guys' website, did you guys Skylab your images? You guys are looking real young on there.
I think we use the retouch feature. I think.
I like how you use the retouch feature, but you're still.
I am young. What are you talking about?
You young 50, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I like that you Skylabbed your image, but you kept the readers like hanging on your polo shirt there.
Oh, bro, that was not my call. Those stinkers in my office. They're kind of, well, can we say smart asses? I'm just going to say it. That's how it is. It's kind of like you guys. You two are a couple of cheeky fellas, and I've got an office full of cheeky people too.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm like, when I saw that picture, we every summer we take a new portrait of everybody, for the ID badges and whatnot. And when I turned and I saw that I had that, they refused to take another picture of me when I saw I had my reader on, and they all walked off from the camera. So I was kind of stuck there.
Oh man.
Yeah. Right?
It's a good look, Yeah. CEO status, definitely.
CEO status. There you go.
Chief entertainment officer.
Yeah,
it makes it fun though, don't you think?
I think it's more like the butt of all jokes is really what it is.
It works though, and these guys respect you, and I think it's mutual in between you and them. So yeah.
Oh,
whatever you're doing, buddy, it's working.
Well, they're great people. They really are. I'm just, what do they say? Hire for people smarter than you, which means I have a great pool to hire from.
Can only go up, right?
Right. Some people have a harder time finding people like that, but me, it's pretty easy. Fish in a barrel.
Yeah.
So, nope. They're good guys. They're all great, and gals too. I don't want to, separate that.
Definitely.
Yeah. Hey, hypersensitive over here, buddy.
I'm close to Portland. I just said that. Sorry.
So, Bell Imaging started in 1976. You kind of want to tell us, how it started, how'd you get into it?
Okay. Well, a gentleman named Fred Bell, Mr. Bell, he was a school teacher, and as I understand it from him, he really enjoyed photography, and he was able to create a school portrait studio on the side while he was teaching. And then he went full time in that in 76 and stopped teaching and started doing school portraiture. So yeah, that's how it started. And he was, talk about original, right? They that was back in 76. They were still doing I think they're still doing black and white for the first year or two. And then they switched. And like, I remember the stainless steel tanks for processing, they'd print by hand. Mm-hmm. They didn't have a lot of accounts in 76, and then it grew. And then I came along in 90, and then took over, succeeded him in the company in 92.
Got it. Yeah. Did you still keep it like black and white in 92, or did you convert?
No. He had an old lucked package printer by then, and was it a Paycor processor? I think that's what it was. Yeah. The kind where you had a light trap. Did you guys ever see these in your dad's there at Artona back in the day? Did you have light traps to get into the dark room where the paper?
Oh, yeah.
I know you had those.
Yeah, so, sliding doors. Yep.
And then paper would run through the processor in the dark, and then come through the wall, and the dryer would be in the other side of the room. Yep, on the take-up reel.
You forget to put the paper on the core, and then you'd come out like 20 minutes later and be all over the floor.
All over the floor.
Yep.
Exactly.
Definitely did that more than once.
Or when the dryer broke, and then people stood there with hair dryers on the paper, trying to dry the paper before it rolled up. And if they didn't have time, if it wasn't dry yet, then you didn't roll it up. You just carried it across across the floor. Yeah, oh yeah, and
Just
kept trying.
so what like knowing that and like what like really prompted you to get into it and take it over and make it yours?
Oh, well, that's a good question. I think everybody's kind of predisposed to who they are, right? That you're happy working for a man or the man, or you're not happy doing that. And I came from a family of business owners, automotive industry and fuel.
On the way.
So I didn't know. Nobody knew a lick about photography, but I just kind of grew up watching my grandfather and my father run businesses, and so it just seemed like the natural succession for me. So when I went to work for Mr. Bell, then my goal when I went to work for him was to succeed him.
Got it.
Did he teach you about photography though, and like the shooting part?
He really did. He taught a lot about it for me. Because I was only 3 years out of high school, right? So really my only photography I had at that point was high school. And as you know, I don't think it's much different anywhere else. They don't teach a whole lot besides f-stop and shutter speed.
Yeah.
So, but Mr. Bell, he was a teacher by before he was a
right.
photographer. So he was a very good teacher. And and I think I was driven, right? I loved it. I really loved it. Worked in a camera store during high school and when I came out of high school. And so just kind of immersed myself in that industry, you know.
Yeah.
But people nowadays don't have a camera store to go hang out
Amazon,
right? I mean, it was a little bit different 30 years ago, 35 years ago.
Yeah, no. Huge change.
Talking about like the old machines and everything. I remember when we came down, I don't know, we were, I think, finishing up a trip in the motorhome, and we swung by your place to look at some machinery. And I think we're saying it's around like 2000 where you were just going to get into digital, and we bought some of your old luck printers there.
You did.
Yeah.
I thank you for that, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. We definitely enjoy buying junk. So yeah.
Well, we had a plethora of it for you. I don't remember how you ever took that home. It wouldn't have fit in the motorhome. Your dad must have.
No.
You must have sent a moving van down or something, and I guess my staff moved it out. I don't recall how it ever went.
I think we were like at the tail end of a trip coming back home, and we came to come see it, and then I think you guys struck a deal, and then either we had staff come down with like a rental like truck with a lift, or maybe we shipped it from there. But yeah, I think they were like package printers that we got from you guys.
They were package printers. They were Luck package printers. Yep. Yeah. And I think you got an editor from me, and maybe you got a film scanner too.
Maybe, yeah. I don't really remember. I mean,
coming through the late '90s, right? I mean, to get an ID card anywhere near what you have today, well, you had to scan your film in order to digitize it, just to start joining it with backdrops and graphics and text and anyway. But
that whole thing,
thing. But,
TJ and I were still in high school when that happened.
Were you?
Yeah.
Is that right? See, I guess so. Did you get out of high school? I mean, did Dad take you guys out of school to bring you down to SPAC?
Well, we never went to SPAC until like we were 18 and 19 years old. So this was like, high school was done, and we were in university. So I'm pretty sure, we probably skipped out, took like a week off, go down to Vegas with Dad. Yeah.
I remember that trip. You guys were in Vegas, and then you left SPAC, and obviously we were in Vegas because we were at SPAC. But then you guys went south to Arizona. I'm guessing it was to the Meacham.
To like car auction or something.
Auction, or maybe it was just Arizona. But you all went together in the motorhome, and then you stopped by our studio. And,
Yep. And then picked it up from there.
Yeah.
And then like so that, I guess 2000 was the year you went digital. And were you attending SPAC before that, or when do you think your first SPAC was?
So that's interesting. You've asked me that question now, and I kept trying to think about exactly when I was at SPAC. I know I was at SPAC at least in 2000, but there was what was the other one? SP.
PSPA.
PSPA.
Yeah.
And so we'd go to that. And then that was always after SPAC.
Yeah.
And then, Tom Brook, we all know Tom Brook. He was one that said, hey, you got to come to SPAC. And so I'm guessing it was probably late 90s. I started coming to SPAC, maybe 96, 97.
We said we could probably identify the area of what hotel it was in.
Yeah. Okay. It was Riviera.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely late 90s.
We did definite years at the Riviera.
R.I.P. Riviera. Those were the glory days.
But man, SPAC was small. I bet there was 50 people.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly.
That's about it. 50, 60 people total.
Yeah.
Not anywhere near what it is today.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Yeah. It's just incredible what it's turned into.
Right.
Yeah. Basically the whole conference could fit in like one of the rooms for like a presentation now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we ever really moved rooms. And when we did, they were just really small,
Yeah. I think back then Riviera, like there was, you'd come in on a Friday night and they do like some small round table. Everyone go out Friday night. Then Saturday morning, they'd have like one session in the morning, stay in that room, lunch break, and then a session in the afternoon. And I think there was like just like 3 or 4 vendors just like against the wall.
Right. I think that is true. I don't ever recall there being very many vendors at all.
Yeah. Yeah. But you definitely remember the casino.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And the bed bugs. Do you remember there was like one conference that like there was like a bed bug outbreak? It wasn't the hotel we were at. Remember?
No, it's like Excalibur. Yeah, a whole bunch of people.
Oh, Excalibur. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, and like a bunch of people showed up to the conference and they had like bed bug bites.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What I really recall is how much it smelled so bad. Riviera was so smoky.
Yeah.
You'd come home and your voice would drop a couple of levels. By the time you got home, you sound like a 5-pack a day smoker.
I don't know why people complain now. Like it's just so much better than what it was.
Oh yeah. Like I remember you come home and you'd always send your, because in those days you always dressed up, right? Everybody had a suit coat on, and it was much more business formal. And I remember you'd come home and you would launder or have everything dry cleaned. That was come home from SPAC and everything had to go to the dry cleaner.
Yeah.
Just burn it after those trips. Yeah.
Yeah. Just burn it. Yeah. They'd be like, oh, did you like party the whole time you were there? You're like, no, I was just in the conference talking to people. Like, yeah. They're like, yeah, you must have been like at a concert yelling for 4 hours.
I
think
think
that's when you had no voice when you got home, right?
Yeah. That's the other thing. The staff thinks that it's like we're out there just to go crazy in Vegas, but these are some of the most like we're working the entire day and night, really, and it's part of the hustle out there.
Yeah, I fully agree, TJ. That you never stop working when you're out there, and even if you're playing, you're still working. Like if I'm with you guys, we're chopping it up about something that will apply. Or problem we're experiencing, or trying to not trying to get ahead of anybody, but trying to fix a channel, or right. And everybody's doing it, right? We're all talking to each other, trying, hey, how do you do this? Or when you run across this problem, how do you handle that?
Yeah.
Exactly. You used to be able to talk to everybody by just being in that one room, but now it's like there's a pre-conference and then a golf game, and every minute of every day there's something going on in a different meeting just to try and catch up with everybody going on. But yeah, the classic days were much easier to try and cover all that ground all together.
Oh man, hey, I remember one time we were in one, and I turned to your dad. I'm like, hey John, how do you do this? And your dad goes, hell, I don't know. And hey, and he just hollers it out. Hey, Ben needs to know how to fix this. And I got the solution.
Yeah,
5 different iterations of the solution. But I left with the solution by just asking that question.
Yeah. I think that's the cool thing too, with like going to SPAC and like knowing all these guys and networking. Like if you don't have the answer, you could probably find someone that would have it.
You absolutely can.
Right. And we were talking about that yesterday on our quick call, that like, you can go into a meeting and staff or even customers could ask you questions, and 90% of the time you have the answer, right? Like you just know what it is just from experience.
Yeah, you do. And it's just time, right? I mean, that's I guess the advantage. You slow down a little bit, you lose a little hair, if you turn gray, but as long as you can remember, you've been there and done that, and you probably have the answer.
Talking about hair, you got some good highlights on that head there.
I got my little yes. Got the lights on. Doggone it. Try to highlight what I got left, fellas.
Yeah, you definitely need to.
It's a built-in fill light there, buddy.
Right. That's too funny. You guys crack me up.
Too good.
So talking about like networking, last couple of years we've partnered up with you and JR for the golf foursome, and it's been like pretty fun. I mean, that's probably where like a lot of some of the ideas for this OPP chat kind of came from. Being on the golf course and just like BSing about like, yeah, we should do this and get it going. But those have been some fun times.
Yeah, you just liked all the stories. You wanted to share all the stories with everybody else. Is that the deal?
We just love it. Like, yeah, like
golf I said, fun. I can't play golf. You guys witness that, but I love to be out there. It's fun hanging out with everybody and talking and well, it's you guys just razz the hell out of everybody. It's fun.
We definitely like to have a good time.
Yeah, you definitely do.
Yeah, you got to, right? In this line of work, like it's got to be a blast. You got to enjoy the work, your team, the people you're doing it with, and I think that's why we're still in it. To be honest with you, and that's why it's still evolving.
Yeah. So, like in our operation, our people are we're vertical. Okay, so not only do we have the photography end, but then we have the processing end, and the packaging end and the distribution end. So we're a one-stop shop. And I believe you guys at Artona are that way also.
Same thing, yeah.
Yep. So you have a lot of people that you work with. Ours really become like family.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they might be there for 4 years, 5 years. They might be there for 25 years. But like you said, TJ, you spend so much time with them that, you do have to have a good time. There's a job to do, but at the same time, you got to have fun while you're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And you proved that you could do it.
Yep.
Yeah. I think what made you good at golf was the drinking. Definitely that bottle of whiskey really helped your game.
I don't know. I don't, not last year. 2 years. Yeah. You guys noticed there was a marked different course of play this past year.
You were a lot looser 2 years ago. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
So you kind of talked about Tom Brook. That name definitely legend in the industry, right? The covers.
Now you're on to the OGs, right? And that guy's got history. He's the next person you should talk to.
Definitely. Yeah. We should.
Yeah, you should. Like his dad created the Brook cutter.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how old do you think you have to be to know what a Brook cutter is? I mean, there's probably a line here that someone's going to say from that age down, they're not going to know what the Brook cutter is.
Probably my age, probably 43, or no, maybe TJ knows it. Probably like 40 and older, you'll probably know what it is. So yeah, if you're under 40, you have no clue what we're talking about.
I think if you were in a vertical operation before 2000, you knew what it was, and pretty much I think. Well, when did you guys? We'll come back to the Brook cutter, but when did you guys go over to digital? Right? I mean,
we definitely delayed it. Obviously with buying your equipment there, I think 2004, we were still capturing on film, but scanning. And then we converted like school day 1 year. Then the next year we did grad. We didn't want to do it all in 1 year. I mean, back then too, like investments in cameras and just equipment, it was huge. So we staggered it over a couple of years. So yeah, maybe like 2003, 2004.
Copy. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. So see, people in your operation would remember the Brook cutter a little longer.
Oh yeah.
Then I think you guys got my Brook cutter too. I think that went to you guys. And I don't know, probably don't need to go into telling everybody what a Brook cutter is, but they were legendary. Right. And if you were vertical, you wanted to own a Brook cutter.
Yeah. Yeah. They're bulletproof. Yeah. I can still hear the sound of it. Right. Remember that double cut it would do?
Yep.
Yeah.
I can still hear it too. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
I always liked it because it was the sound of money. I walked in the processing room and I could hear chunk, chunk, chunk. I knew we made some money because we were selling pictures.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like the new version of that's like sometimes the clicking of the mouse, it's, you know, call it like cropping or retouching or whatever, you know, that it was just like the updated version. But without question, like these homegrown solutions, like everyone can benefit from.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's you walking around the casino with those silver coins, man.
No. So hey, anyway, Tom, he, like I said, he was the one that introduced me to SPAC, because he grew up in the industry before he was a photographer.
Yeah.
He was a salesperson with his father's company, Brook Engineering, and so he's been on the trade show circuit
forever.
Yeah. I think what is he? He's older than I am. I don't know if I think he's late 50s. I don't think he's 60 yet. But the point being is I think he was going to these shows. I want to say he was 15, 16 years old when he started coming to shows. So his dad would bring him along. So the guy's got a raft of stories.
I'll definitely get your get his contact info after this talk, and then we'll hit him up. I think that'll be a fun one too for us to talk to.
Yeah, he'd be great.
He would.
Yeah. But
dropped off TJ there.
Yeah. Well, you know, you talked about the move over from film to digital, and so you might have bought that equipment from me in 01 because we moved our sports channel to digital in 2000. That seemed like the first channel that needed to go digital because that was, and it still is today, the greatest platform to merge graphics and text with imagery. So when we bought, I think we started with a gray tag net printer. We bought one. I ended up with 3 or 4 of those, and we would just convert one, and then we switched to cameras. And then you talk about the investment level, and that was really something. We don't think much about that today. The cameras weren't very expensive, but the media to store, you know, your CF cards at the time. Yeah, I remember it was $2.50 per megabyte.
Jeez, wow.
So 128 megabyte card was $250. And I remember just, you know, $10,000 later, we had enough cards to go do our work. And I thought to myself, geez, I was trying to save money by not buying film. And one of the caveats I think we experienced moving to digital early was it improved annually. You know, it seemed like every winter, every camera had doubled in quality and resolution. And we found ourselves selling cameras dang near yearly for the first 3 or 4 years, and just climbing until there was finally a camera that we held onto for a few years. So those of you, you know, like Artona there, that didn't switch right away, you probably benefited, kept a little bit of cash in your pocket because you bought our, you know, I was happy to sell my gear because we actually did pretty good on it, considering a year later, the stuff was paperweights, you know, it was scrap. Yeah. And anyway, but
we let all of you guys experiment and figure it all out, and then we kind of swooped in at the end.
I think that's true. I think that's true. So
remember too, like PMA and even SPAC, like every year you were saying like new cameras are coming out like so fast, and like technology was like doubling. Like stuff you couldn't even pay the thing off before you had to buy the next one. Like it was coming so fast there.
No, you're not kidding. And that was something, you know, as an operation, you know, we took a loan on our first retooling, right, to go from film to digital. And that's exactly what happened. We were then still paying off cameras that they were just on the shelf.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. No.
Crazy business model, right?
Right. It wasn't a good business model for a few years, but then it plateaued, and that was good.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel now like technology is so good, you could really hold on to stuff for a while and at least have the thing paid off and still keep using it.
Oh, absolutely. We had that talk this morning, actually, myself and JR. We were talking earlier because right now, as most of you are doing, you're trying to get some vacation time in, but you're also now going back through all your equipment and you're repairing, replacing, upgrading. Maybe you've grown as an operation, and so you're adding more cameras to the mix. And so we had that conversation today about, the particular cameras we're using to capture with, I think we're going to stay here a while. So we're just out trying to pick them up as they come available.
Yeah. What cameras you guys using?
So we're using the D500, Nikon D500 for our capture teams. So we like that. It's a robust camera. It's more camera than probably is needed.
Mm-hmm.
But I love everything about the camera, and they're dang near bulletproof. I've seen them fall off of tripods and get right back up and start taking pictures again. So,
there you go. Yeah. So I guess, anyone listening, if you got a D500 you want to get rid of, hit you up. There you go.
There you go. But know your shutter count. Yeah. No, so.
What you talk about the net printers as well. I remember those were like in a basement and you guys had to like hike that downstairs.
Oh man, guys, the stuff I think about now, we had more energy than money and probably common sense. I mean, we really probably had all that. The business at that time was in a town called Rainier, Oregon. In fact, it's been in Rainier, Oregon up until just this past August. We relocated the company to Woodland, Washington this past August. But in any event, the building we had in Rainier at the time, it was only about 2,500 square feet, and a good 2/3 of that was dedicated to studio, to camera room, because portraiture was a real channel, right? And so when we're looking at where we're going to put our lab, we put it in the basement of the building, and again, just more brawn than common sense. We knew that we could run everything down the stairwell if we just put plywood on the stairwell and lower it down with a block and tackle. So, I know, and we did that for years. And,
how did you get it out? You tied it to like your truck or something?
Well, same with the block and tackle, right? It doesn't take much to. There's a bunch of the reduction gears in that, or so to speak, the passes of the rope through the block. One person can pull the 500-pound machine up the ramp. So I wouldn't advise it.
No,
I don't think it's not OSHA approved.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. Again, the things we did just because that's what we had to do. Or maybe we didn't have to do it, but those were the choices I made. And
1,000 ways to die, right?
Yeah, right.
The best decision at the time with the information that we had. Huh?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of that, right? Coming through in the 90s, how much stuff was homemade?
Yeah,
it just seemed like a natural thing.
Yeah,
you guys know what I'm talking about, because I've been to Artona. I was in Artona in the 90s, and I got a heck of a chuckle out of John, your dad, showing me all the stuff that you all had built or dreamt up that this would help our production if we could have something like this. Yeah. And you would go to a machinist and a machine shop and they would build it for you.
Yeah.
Right? It was no different than what we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like sometimes, we're like doing all these tech stuff, but then like sometimes the old tech is the best tech.
Yeah. Yeah. So all of a sudden when you're coming from that era, moving a machine up a stairwell just seemed like kind of a natural thing to do. But everything's on one level now, gentlemen.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
And interestingly enough, we don't have to build anything anymore. What we need is there's a provider of that, right?
Yeah. I think the industry's definitely grown, right? And a lot of stuff is kind of more streamlined, right? Everyone's doing their thing their own way, but now with like technology and workflow, there seems to be some good standardization. Yeah,
it's become really quite standardized, I think. And I'll talk to you, TJ, about that. Like Skylab in my opinion, becoming a standardized part of, well, it's a part of our workflow. I think,
Thanks,
well, you
buddy.
know that, and it's we count on it, and instead of having people just do that editing, we outsource that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bet, man.
Yeah. We thank you for that. That's good stuff.
He'll adjust your bill later.
I think you froze him again.
Yeah. You just uploaded a bunch of stuff to Skylab, and he ran on bandwidth there.
Oh, that's too funny. Nope.
Yeah, let's see if he comes back in again.
Classic. Yeah, I know it's like tech, and then I can't even get this like Wi-Fi.
That's the way we like it, TJ. That's the way.
I know.
Yeah.
Had to be.
Keeps you while you're down.
Yeah.
And the guy who doesn't check his email's got the smoothest internet right now, the best lighting. Yeah. No. He came prepared. What else we got with you, Ben? We joke about this all the time, but Link's Legacy Award winner, right? What an honor, right?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. We definitely think you're the youngest guy who got it.
Yeah, truthfully, and I really appreciate the honor of that, and I'm very proud of it. I'm not going to lie, I'm very proud of it. But I think there's so many people that are as or more deserving. So I'm just one of the handful that need to be. There's a lot of people yet to earn that, or have already earned it.
Yeah, dude. But I think it's like your humble nature and your leadership style that also like shines through, that puts you in the legend category. And I even remember like your speech at the end was really just thanking your team and kind of setting an example for everybody.
Oh yeah, well, thank you. Well, it's all true, right? I mean, you can't get where you're going if you don't have people that believe in the same vision that you have and pull on that rope. We call it pulling on the rope, right? And man, my team, they can win tug of war.
You tell me that your team pulls up.
Oh, we lost him again.
Again.
It was going to be a good one too. I think it was going to be a good one.
Well, T, we missed you. Repeat what you were going to say there.
I was the old team pulling on the rope there, Ben. Hey.
Yeah, the old team pulling on the rope. No, I've got a great team. I really do, and in fact, the team's really. Well, I've been at this 32 years of owning Bell. So, I've had people come and go. They've had their full careers at our operation and then retired. And currently we're kind of in the new era of Bell. With JR Wallace as our GM.
Legend.
Joining us 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't want to get that wrong. He came right at the beginning of COVID. And he's got an awesome approach and mentality. We see eye to eye on the kind of drive it takes to do something. He had a full career, and he was planning on coming on board with our operation right as the shutdown here in Washington State happened. I think that was March and April. And I called him up and I'm like, hey, I know you're coming on board, but if you haven't left your old job yet, it was not just a job, it was a career where he was at. And I said, how about you just pause, stay there and ride this out and come on board after it's over. And I won't forget it. He's like, huh? Nope. He said, I said, we're going to go. Let's go do this. And that's crazy for somebody to say. Now, maybe you just didn't know enough about the fact that we're a volume company, and what goes away when there's social distancing and shelter in place mandates, right? There's no volume, but he came on board and never looked back. And
he was definitely one of those guys who thought COVID would last a week. So.
Yeah, maybe. I think that might be it. I never asked him how long he thought it would last.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. But then he brought our son, my wife and I's son, Jordan, on board.
Yeah.
And so he came on board, and he like I said, he brought him in then, and we haven't looked back there either. And then through COVID, my wife came on board.
Yep.
Christina. She was a retired school teacher, didn't need to go back to work, but she came in to help the company. As we all know, companies became strapped at that time, and so she's still in now. I think she's hoping that maybe this next year she's maybe half-time and then done. But they're a great team.
She's been there about 4 years.
Yeah. So we've been
probably the most profitable 4 years ever, eh?
Probably so. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's funny. She's so invaluable that it hurts my heart to not have her in there. Right. And she's always known the business because as a spouse,
you talk about all the time.
You never stop working, right, fellas?
Yeah.
You just don't.
Yeah.
And so she's, for 20 years, she's known the business inside and out for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
And so now
we talk about that a lot. Like the lessons are all at the dinner table.
Oh yeah.
Truly.
Yeah. She's probably been a good sounding board too, right? Just like what's going on and just like throwing ideas.
Yep. No, we had breakfast here at the house this morning. There was more sounding boards, right?
Yeah.
Again, in the next 2 months here, while you're getting your family vacations and all your breaks, you are getting ready to roll out for the next year. So there's all kinds of topics.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, that's like another cool thing about our industry and SPAC. You see so many like family businesses, multi-generation, like stuff that kind of gets passed on. Even with you, with like Mr. Bell, right? Like a good relationship, and then someone that took it over that was almost like family to him.
Yep, I would agree. I think we had that feeling, right? He and I.
Yeah.
And he was a friend. He'd become a friend of mine, and he had sons my age, or has sons my age, and so we were all buddies, and yet it was a real family affair, even though I wasn't a Bell. So
Yeah.
Yep. You guys, with Artona, and you see it a lot of places. Dorian. Right, family. They're third generation, I think.
I think so. Yeah. Like a lot of the big companies, right? Like they're like all started as family businesses.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, exactly. So I don't know. Probably not a desirable business for everybody to be in. So it has to come through the family.
Yeah, a lot of hard work.
It is a lot of hard work. There's easier jobs out there, I think.
Yeah,
definitely. But like, seems like the people that have been in it and like it and stayed, there's also something so like oddly captivating about it at the same time, and it's always changing. It's actually dynamic, even though we're doing the same thing every year.
Yeah, I would agree with that. With that. I think there's a real sense of purpose in what we do.
There you go.
At the end of the day, and it is absolute purpose. And graduation season's upon us right now here in Washington. Right, we're just finishing up. We'll have one more graduation tonight. I think we're all done.
Oh, but nice.
To walk around at the end of the graduation, normally they're on a football field, right? So all the families are down on the field after graduation, and the families that come up and shake your hand and thank you. They might make a joke about the fact they've written, when they go through their check register, they see more checks to Bell than any other person in the checkbook. And for that, I thank them.
Yeah.
But they thank us a lot for being that company that records the lives of their children for them. And that's really a thing.
Yeah,
it's important.
Yeah, I'm proud of it. I go over to people's houses periodically, and we went somewhere, I don't know, a few months back for dinner, and had never been to their home before. And I walk in, and in their dining room on this like China hutch, there must have been 15, 18 memory mates of all the sports their two kids were playing as they were coming up through high school, and they were all ours.
Yeah,
you see that, and all of a sudden, it's kind of a reset button for why we do what we do.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, you like constantly a reminder, and especially like it's something hard. It's always been a challenge to like, how do you get that sense of purpose? Like let everyone know you're proud of it. And like you said, it's super important work.
Right. Yeah. No, it is. It is important work. It's good work, and it needs to stay there. And I think it's not going anywhere. I think it's quite solid.
Yeah. Talk about that, man. The future too.
Oh, the future?
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Well, how's the future? Kind of a funny part of the future. We retooled again just this past summer. So in 2001, we went from film to digital. This past summer, we went from silver halide to inkjet.
Oh yeah.
So we're a 100% dry printing company now. So I mean, not our future there. That's just a whole different workflow, right? But I don't know. You're probably asking more about the future of school photography and where it's going. And
yeah, just like what your thoughts are. Like kind of got like the crystal ball there, and from what you've seen to maybe where it's going. There's consistencies for sure.
Yeah, maybe I'm kind of just I just don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's strong.
Yeah.
I don't know if I see vast changes. What I think I've seen is there was a lull in participation for a while with cell phones and how everybody would just record with their own phone, right? Take their pictures for this or for that. And some channels have died. Like the prom channel, for example, is that revenue stream is pretty much a trickle.
Yeah.
But we've seen that school portraiture has come back. It's very strong, and I think people have figured out that not every picture in their phone is where that picture should be.
Yeah.
So I think the future is just more understanding maybe of our market or of the populace. It's like, hey, some of the stuff that's been there since I was a kid, or even when my parents were a kid, we need that. It's valuable. It's not outdated. It is relevant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Almost like a good anchor to like the.
There he is again.
There he went again, man.
Yeah.
Skylab's got to get him a new router or something.
I know.
What did you say, TJ?
A good anchor to the old world.
Yeah. I think it is. But there's changes, right? Like I don't know. I don't mind sharing. Had a impromptu chat with a half a dozen moms earlier this week.
Of course you did. Sorry.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, so we're talking, and they said it was actually about processes. I was at a butcher shop, because I have cattle, as you guys know.
Oh, we're definitely going to touch on that before we end.
Touch on the cattle.
Yep.
And so it was harvest time. We harvested a few weeks ago, and to that end, I was visiting with them about some of the packaging processes they do within their operation, and so all these people, all these gals came in from these departments, and we were talking about how they package, and because I'm talking about how we package pictures, and there might have been some lamenting about staff and accuracies and things of that nature, but they turned to me and they said, "Hey, whatever you do, don't ever stop making those magnets." And it's just we make magnets, and not only are they included in some of our packages, but obviously they can buy them a la carte. Yeah. And they're just a thing, right? Every one of these gals talk about the fact that they have the magnets on their fridges, and they're buying extras and sending them to grandparents, and yeah. So anyway,
it's like a tradition.
Yeah. If the future, I'm sure that magnets have been around for a long time, but when you talk to these people here, it's like, okay, they're relevant. They're very relevant yet. So.
Ben, I totally thought your story was going to go in like a different direction, where like you were going to introduce photography into the cattle, and once you package it, you have a picture of the cow on the package, maybe.
Bovine boudoir.
What's with the cattle and all this stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Cattle.
Yeah.
Well, most business people are thirsty, right? And so I had land, and that land was being taxed at a rate that you could build a house on it, even though there were no houses. The only way to keep it at that particular tax rate was to buy some cattle and become a gentleman farmer.
Nice.
Yep.
Sweet.
So that was 25 years ago, and so
you've been doing it for a long time then.
Been doing it for a long time, yeah.
Yeah.
We got about 25, 30 head, nothing much, just enough to feed our family and a bunch of other families.
That's awesome. Keeps it fresh.
Oh yeah, it's fresh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I asked Tim McCain. He's been out before, and he stayed there at the house, and we fed the cattle before, and he got to meet a bull one time, and
So is that how you got the Link's Legacy Award? Basically, you paid your way for it.
Yeah, I saved his life from the bull. Yep.
There you go.
He owed me one.
Yeah.
No. We just have fun, right? That's all.
No, I think you need other stuff to do outside of it, right? Like you're just so focused on the business and you're doing this. You kind of need to have something else. Like we were talking about that the other day, right? Just be doing something else, but you're still thinking about the business.
Oh yeah. We do a lot of, the farming's just kind of clears your mind. That's just a full reset button, right?
Yeah.
Some people might take a walk, do the same thing.
Exactly.
But then we fish a lot, down here. We go offshore most of the summer. So if we're not traveling around looking at national parks and whatnot, we're offshore fishing in the Pacific, the Great Pacific there. So.
I love it, man. I love how you always stayed balanced too through this whole thing.
Oh yeah. But we're fishing, we're working because there's always one of our guys, Corey, been with us a long time. He's one of our photographers, great fisherman.
Yep.
JR goes fishing with us. So we're always working.
Yeah.
Just
good excuse to kind of get out and just talk about work in a different environment.
Yeah. Right. Kind of like playing golf, right?
Well, Ben, man, we appreciate you coming on. We're like at an hour. I mean, that went by fairly quick. Yeah. Thanks, we appreciate you coming on, sharing some stories with us, talking. Again, we're going to post this. This is going to be part of the 70th anniversary of SPAC. I'm sure you'll be there. Yeah, you'll be definitely at the craps table.
We'll be there.
In the conference. Yeah, but you'll be there. But
we'll be down there. Yep. We'll be down there.
But
and my staff will be in the meeting.
That's why you're a legend.
Man, you guys cracked me up.
Yeah,
I really appreciate you having me on. This is great. And I appreciate what you guys are doing about interviewing everybody. And I'm excited to hear the rest of the stories of the other people you're going to interview.
There you go with the humble. There you go with humble stuff again, Ben.
There you go. Yeah. You got to turn off your satellite radio and start listening to podcasts now.
Oh, geez. All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Ben. We'll talk to you later.
Take care.
Absolutely.
All right. Bye-bye.